Welcome, family. I want to welcome everybody to the Mid-Range Game Podcast, where we give you the game from the mid-range. You know what they say. Sometimes you gotta love them from a distance, but not too far away, cause we family. So you already know we're gonna kick the show off with the gym bangers. That's the highlights for the week. I got a special segment for the Lady Hoopers coming up right after that. So let's get it kicked off, man. Y'all know how we do. Yeah. LaMelo to Miles Bridges. You know how much you get for a slip and fall in the stove? My neck, my back, my neck and my back. Miles Bridges, 2 hands. Now let's look at it. Terry Rozier. He ain't know Willie Cauley-Stein was working the dough. No tennis shoes tonight, young fella. No tennis shoes. Get that out of here. Then we got the Fresh King. Fresh King. 1 hand slam on the break. Alright, we got my young boy, Cody Martin. Mama, I made it. Banging on him. Then we got Dame Lillard. You ain't gonna throw it from there, is you? You ain't gonna throw it from back there, is you? Derrick Jones off the oop. That's an alley-oop. That's what they call it in Steph Island. Ghostface Killer. Raekwon the Chef, inspect the deck. You already know. From the slums of Shaolin, young Chef Curry, then KD coast to coast. Get out my way, young man. Get out my way. Let's D up. Let's go D up. We got Brown. Watch this. No hands. No hands, mama. This one traded the whole league away. This one caused the whole league to change. Then we got Joe Harris. Get out the way, man. He gets a face tag. Get out the way, man. Get out the way, man. You're gonna end up on a poster, man. Get out the way. And then we got a special segment for the day for the Lady Hoopers. Ryan Howard, her mid-range game is crazy. Let me see what you got. Oh, deny the screen. 1 dribble pull up. Mid-range, I like that. Off the screen, down screen. 1 dribble, step back. Mid-range, I like that. Okay, what you got next? ISO, 1 dribble pull up. Mid-range, her mid-range game crazy. Then she come off the screen one more time. Free throw line extended. Mid-range. Okay, let me get the screen. I'm gonna come off. Oh, nobody gonna stop me. Mid-range. Okay, let me get that bound. Step back. Mid-range. Looking good, man. She looking good out here. Off the screen one more time. Mid-range. What y'all wanna do with me? Okay, one more. 1 dribble pull up. Let me get. And that's what happens when you work the mid-range game. That's what happens. You get your own bound. You know where the ball coming down. Lady hoopers, men hoopers. That mid-range game's so important, man. So important. But let's get on to the next segment. You already know what time it is, man. This next segment, when we call this one the pull-up. So, it's where we give y'all the news from the week from around the sports world, mainly the basketball world. And everybody know what the big news was this week. It was real big news coming out the Western Conference. Somebody coming out the West, going to the East. That man averaged 36 points a game last year, I think. Or the year before, one of the two. James Harden going to the Brooklyn Nets, and it seems to have ruffled a lot of feathers with what's going on with that trade. Simply because some people think that it's gonna work out fine because you put these 3 ballers on a team and it's gonna be, they can't miss. Other people got issues with the chemistry and how they gonna gel. The Nets is putting out statements. Kyrie on his way back. He packed his bag. He said he done. He ready to come back now. They got James. So it's gonna be interesting to see him gel, especially early on. They play tomorrow. They're all supposed to play tomorrow. I'm not sure if all of them gonna play or not, but it's gonna be interesting. Now, y'all know I got the Nets theory. My mans on Twitter just asked me the other day about the Nets theory. So let me explain this a little bit. Now, this was before James Harden came, but I still see it being relevant a little bit. So the Nets bench theory is basically KD and Kyrie are going to go to the bench at some point in the game. Now, the Nets previously had Karis LeVert. My fault, I didn't move the microphone. Don't worry about that. They had Jared Allen, who they just had to get rid of. They had, who else did they get rid of? They got rid of Taurean Prince, which is a wing defender. That's going to be another question mark. Who's going to defend? But that theory was just, whenever these guys go to the bench, teams seem to get the best of them at that point in time. I saw the Hornets do it. I saw the Hawks do it. I saw a couple of the teams that beat them early on in the season beat them while these guys were on the bench. Now, with James Harden coming in, it's going to be a whole different thing, and it depends on how they play him. I'm not sure if they're going to put James with the second unit or if they're going to, interchange him. But we'll see how that goes. I feel like the one thing that they gonna need, though, I feel like the number one thing that for them to be successful is somebody's gonna have to step up and be the Dennis Rodman. Now they got DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan hasn't really balled out since he was in LA. So, we don't know what we're gonna get from him. He seems to be a little bit more motivated right now, but we'll see when that comes up. But they need somebody that's gonna be that Draymond Green, that selfless guy. And I'm not saying it has to be KD, Kyrie, or James, because that's not really in their DNA to be that person. But they need somebody on that team to step up and be like, okay, y'all can. I know y'all gonna take the majority of the shots on offense. I'm just gonna rebound and I'm just gonna play defense. Now, that's going to depend on the leadership, because you need good leadership to have strong Dennis Rodmans on your team. Because to be a Dennis Rodman, you got to be a little bit crazy in the head. You got to want to block out every play. You know what I'm saying? And every player don't want to do that, especially in today's NBA. It's all flashy. You know what I'm saying? Getting your bag, pull up from 30. So that's going to be interesting to see, but I feel like that's going to be an important aspect of it. They're going to really need somebody to really play defense, because they don't have any more wing defenders. Now, should the Lakers make a move? I'm not really sure at this point. I feel like the Lakers good where they at, because like LeBron said when he was in Cleveland, we top heavy as I don't know what, meaning that some of our players are the best players in the league, but then we have a huge drop off of that and after that. And if y'all look at the roster, y'all know that's definitely the case in Brooklyn right now. But I'm optimistic to see. Like I said, they play tomorrow night, so we're going to see. But definitely going to be must-see TV, and I definitely think that they're going to come out the East, barring injury and chemistry issues. And hopefully they don't get rid of Kyrie. I don't think they will, because KD ain't going to allow that to happen. And he's just too good of a player. You can't get value back for Kyrie. So it's going to be interesting, though. I'm definitely going to be tuned in tomorrow when they play the Magic, 6 o'clock. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the NFL. Got some big games coming up this week. I made a prediction last week that Ohio State was going to beat Alabama. I was sadly mistaken. Good season, Buckeyes. They didn't get a chance to really put it all together this season, I feel like, but definitely something to build on. Fields is looking like he's going to be definitely a top pick, so you know what I'm saying, that's good for the Buckeyes. But let's look at some of these games. So first game, you already know the Browns got there. Somebody had made a joke on Facebook that said something about if the Ohio State win, the Browns can't win. If the Browns win, Ohio State can't win. So that ended up being true. But the Browns actually got the Chiefs this week, best team in the league. That boy Pat Mahomes, y'all know what he about. That man, just, you know what I'm saying, overall great quarterback. We're going to see what Baker made of, but my prediction of that game is going to really depend on if Cleveland can score points. I think that their defense will get stops, but there's no way you're gonna shut down the Kansas City Chiefs to under 28 points pretty much. So it's going to be up to Cleveland to put points on the board. I got Kansas City getting to at least 33 points this week, at least. So I think Cleveland gonna have to score more than that to win that game. So I'm from Ohio, but I ain't gonna steer y'all wrong. I think the Chiefs gonna get that one. I think it's gonna be about, like I said, 33-20, something like that. Another game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and we got the New Orleans Saints. Brady is trying to prevent being taken out the playoffs. You know, he used to going all the way with Belichick, but it's gonna be a tough one. It's in New Orleans. Drew Brees, he coming back off an injury just a few weeks back. Is he at 100%? We don't know that. But he got a lot of weapons out there. The defense is definitely heavy. And from what I've seen over the season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just not built for that style that the Saints play, because they're getting to Brady every time. They putting him on his back. And that's kind of the key. That's why my Giants, if you look back at my Giants, when they always got at Tom Brady in the Super Bowls, because that front four that we used to have, we would have like Justin Tuck, and we had what's my man name? My man from Ohio State, I forgot his name, but we had a solid line. Michael Strahan, you know what I'm saying, those kind of guys on our line. So you got to be able to get the Brady. So I feel like this is his kryptonite. If I was to make a prediction of this game, I think Brady gonna rise up and come to the occasion, but I feel like it's gonna be a nail biter. I feel like I got to be in a close one. I think that the Buccaneers will do better at protecting Brady this week. Give me Tampa Bay in a real close game. I think it's gonna be like 24-23. It's gonna be a late field goal drive, something like that. It's gonna be something of that nature. Next game, we got the Ravens and we got the Bills. Bills, tough team this year. You know, they got Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. He's been proving himself to be a franchise quarterback for the Bills. They playing better than ever. Going up against my boy Lamar, though. Lamar has been balling. When that kid skedaddle, man, it's like he on an episode of Scooby-Doo. That man gets out the pocket. It's really hard to contain that. And the Bills aren't the best team in the league at containing the run. And then, you know, the Ohio guy, J.K. Dobbins, he been balling. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna depend on how good the spy is gonna be for Buffalo and how much they're gonna let Lamar get. And also, as a byproduct of that, it's gonna be, can Lamar make the throws? Because he's gonna have to make the throws. Just after watching them play, it's obvious that they found something in running the football, and they've been running it all year. One of the best running teams in the league. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens 30-20 in that game. I think they'll pull away at the end. Last game, we got the Packers and we got the Rams. My fault, Rams. You know, I mess with y'all. I mess with LA. Shout out LA. But Jared Goff against Aaron Rodgers. I ain't even gonna have to talk about that for too long. Anderson, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, MVP form. I'm gonna take the Packers. I think the Packers gonna put some points up. I think the Rams front four, it's gonna really depend on how effective they are, but I still think Aaron Rodgers, with the ability to use his feet, he gonna find Devontae, and I think the Packers gonna take this one. I'm gonna call that game to be a little bit closer than what y'all may expect me to call it. I think that one gonna be around. Jared Goff. Can he put up points? That's gonna be the factor. I think that Green Bay will win that one, 33-21. And that's the NFL for today. So we're gonna get up out of here. Let's go ahead and move to the next segment. Let's get to the spotlight portion of the show. This is the portion right before we give the mid-range game. We're going to talk about a couple things in the spotlight today. We're going to kind of finish what we talked about last week, but we're going to move on to a different topic pretty quick. So the main topic's gonna be about Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre, the legendary producer, praying for my man. They said he just had a brain aneurysm. So, man, Dr. Dre is the GOAT as far as hip-hop beats, man. This is the man. Who hasn't he produced for? He took the production game to a whole new level. People still to this day can't make beats that sound like Dre beats, man. Speaking of Dre beats, man, he also brought the Dre beats, man. That man is not a businessman, he's a businessman. Man, so, you know what I'm saying, hope for a healthy recovery for Dre, man. Definitely praying for him, man, because he's still fairly young. He seems like he's in shape, and it just comes out of nowhere, you know. But in other news, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but his family actually believes that he was poisoned. It's a story that came out that actually talks about how his family believes that Dre might have been poisoned. So we got to keep an eye out on that, because usually whenever you hear about guys, especially successful black men that's not close to $1 billion, things like Dr. Dre, people that's powerful as far as like just influence, like Johnny Cochran, he had the same thing happen to him. You look at Khalid Muhammad, had the same thing happen to him. So, and now that you're hearing this story about his family thinks he may have been poisoned, just got to keep your eyes open. Another thing to keep your eyes open about, you already know what's coming. The inauguration is on the 20th. I've been watching the news a little bit. I'm hearing a lot of people calling for real thick security at the Capitol and just different attacks all over the country. So make sure y'all stay safe, man. Protect yourself, but yeah, man, it's just crazy. This is, I feel like, I don't know, it's like the last stand, you know. And like I was telling y'all last week, that ain't none of our business. We gotta keep getting out here and building, but we definitely gotta protect ourselves and stay on alert. Just cause, you know what I'm saying? You heard about the little small attacks that they were doing on like innocent people, things like that. We don't let that happen. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, let's be productive out here and move forward with that. So that's the spotlight for the day. Now I wanna get into the last segment, which you already know, is the mid-range game for the day. The mid-range game for the day, brought to you by So Serious Productions. Also, Spotlight is brought to you by that, my bad. But the mid-range game for the day. Now, y'all know we're about 2 hours away from my 31st birthday. So I'm actually about to be 31 years old. I'm grateful that I'm still here, because a lot of guys that I'm saying, went to school with, played ball with, grew up with, you know what I'm saying, just been around in my life, didn't make it this far. And I'm saying it's a blessing, so you definitely gotta feel blessed, and you gotta move forward. But the mid-range game for the day is actually it's more about the late great Nipsey Hussle. So sometimes I'll go back and I'll just be watching like random Nip interviews just to see if there's something I missed, because Nip was he was real deep. So a lot of the things he say, you might have to watch the interview again, or you might have to, you know what I'm saying, watch it another day, get a different set of ears on it to really understand what he was saying. So he had this one interview where he was talking about, and I knew this, but it just came back. Y'all remember when Nip sold the album for $100 and he sold 1,000 copies and he made $100,000 in one day? Well, Nip actually had a plan for his next album where he wanted to do that in 10 stores across the country. So Nip actually wanted to take it to all the major cities and do the same thing, $100 an album, where he would make $1 million in the first day of dropping it. That's genius, man. Now, streaming. So we look at the streaming numbers. Does anybody know how many streams you need to make $1? It depends on what platform you're on, but if you're on Spotify, you need about 236 streams to make $1. Industry artists, most of them only get about 10% of their streaming revenue. So let's do the math. So streaming works for guys like Drake, for guys like Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? Not guys, but people like Beyonce, celebrities of that stature, like Taylor Swift, and you know what I'm saying? People that are getting billions of streams. It works for them because they can split it with the label, and they also eat themselves. They eat well. They eat, you know what I'm saying, what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Even though they deserve more than they get. But for a man to say, okay, I'm just gonna make $1 million on the first day, how many streams would he have needed to make $1 million? That's in a year. What we're talking about as far as streaming, like with all these the big artists that have like billions of streams in a year. We talking about one day. Drop the album one day, make $1 million one day. How many streams would he need to make $1 million on Spotify? It'd be what I say 223. It'd be 223 million streams. Now he can get it. He could get it, but that's in a year. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna take him about a year to get that. And if you look at the industry shift, like how it shifted from like the Master P's and the Cash Money, the guys that were selling out the trunk, they made that huge, there we go again, streaming shift. Once those guys started to make millions of dollars just on that DIY, selling out the trunk grind. And Nipsey was about to change that. He wanted to make steps. Imagine if these rappers did that. Imagine if Drake did that. Drake could do it in 100 cities. That man could make 10 million one day if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to. And that's the difference. And that's the game for the day. It's the difference between power and money and wealth. Because a lot of people got money, but they don't have no power. They don't control the circumstances in which the money is being made. If y'all ever read the book $40 Million Slave, it talk about one status of slave is defined by his ability to control the money that's being made and not just making the money, because there were rich slaves back in the day. We went through this already. But that's the mid-range game for the day, man. Make sure you impactful in your life. Like I said, I'm 31 years old today. All I'm thinking about is really what I can give the world, what gifts that I have, and how I can get everything out, like as far as music and just everything, but just being creative as I can be and just giving this world all that I can while I'm still here. And that's what it's all about, man. Giving back to the kids. I'm working on having a camp this year, man. Doing a lot of other things this year, man. Like I told y'all, the book is on the way. The book is crazy. Like I said, it's a science fiction book. I'm gonna get into that one soon for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all some things from the book, but it's a crazy topic. I've always liked science fiction stuff, and a lot of us do. So it's time for us to get into that industry. But we out of here, y'all, man. Y'all be safe, man. Go Browns. Hopefully they get it done, but we out of here, man. Mid-Range Game Podcast. It's your boy.